Welcome to a century of cinema. Today I will be exploring my favourite films of 1949. First up, Gene Kelly and Stanley Donen's joyous musical, On the Town. The movie is about three sailors, played by Frank Sinatra, Jules Munchin and Gene Kelly, who have a 24-hour shore leave in New York City. Gene Kelly's Gaby falls for Vera Ellen's Ivy, who is that month's Miss Turnstiles, which Gaby thinks is a much bigger deal than it actually is. Sinatra's Chip is pursued and won by Betty Garrett's sassy cabbie, Hildy. And Jules Munchin's Ozzie attracts the fascination of an anthropologist named Claire, played by Ann Miller. While Chip and Ozzie spend the day with their gals, Gaby tries to find Ivy again, which he does eventually, and they all meet up again atop the Empire State Building and have a night on the town, before Ivy disappears again and the gang find her on Coney Island. And they all have their final kiss on the dock, just as a new trio of sailors disembark for their own day on the town. This is pure, unadulterated fun from start to finish. Great dancing, some excellent songs, and 6 very likeable characters, which make 3 lovely couples. It's elevated by the sheer talent on display. Great dancers like Kelly, Miller, and Vera Ellen, a great singer like Sinatra, and natural comedians like Munchin and my personal favourite Betty Garrett. And what's even more impressive, they all rise to near the level of their co-stars in each discipline. Some scenes were actually shot on location in New York City, a rarity for the time, and it is most effective in the opening number, New York, New York. No, not that one, not the start spreading the news one, where they visit some iconic New York sites. Gene Kelly co-directed and choreographed On the Town, which he puts on full display in a ballet near the end of the film, which recounts the events leading up to that moment, along with a slew of excellent musical numbers, my favourite of which is not, however, one of the dancing ones. The part of the entire movie I love the most is Sinatra and Garrett serenading each other with the song You're Awful, written by Roger Edens, Betty Comden and Adolph Green. I still listen to it all the time.
I'm the one who needs you, and I think you're awful, awful nice to say you're mine.
So yeah, great music, great dancing, a lot of laughs, and some surprisingly touching moments of romance and friendship. And as far as I'm concerned, you get one of the best movies of 1949. Lust for Gold focuses on the search for a lost gold mine and the string of murders and other deaths attached to it. William Prince plays Barry Storm, whose grandfather Jacob Waltz was believed to have found the legendary mine The Last back in 1880. The majority of the film depicts that story. Glenn Ford plays Jacob, a fairly despicable guy who kills a few people, including his own partner, to get the gold. When he returns to town, Julia, played with gusto by Ida Lupino, schemes with her husband Pete, Gig Young, to trick Jacob into giving up the location. She does this by expertly flirting with him, making him fall for her. That is, until he discovers the truth. What he doesn't know is that Julia, surprisingly, seems to have fallen for Jacob too. Jacob tells Julia the location in order to ambush them, and the story climaxes at the entrance of the mine, and Julia imploring Jacob to believe that she loves him, while Jacob is having none of it. The main draw for me in Lust for Gold is Ida Lupino. Glenn Ford is also very good, but Lupino has always been one of my favourite actresses, and even though she doesn't appear in this for the first half hour, she immediately takes the reins and turns in an excellent performance. She's perfectly delicious when she schemes against and flirts with Jacob, and she very subtly changes as her feelings for Jacob begin to manifest. Then, while desperately trying to survive, she brings it all together and then some, and you can viscerally feel her agony. That's why Ida Lupino in Lust for Gold is my choice for Best Actress of 1949. Finally, it's White Heat, directed by Raoul Walsh. It stars James Cagney as criminal Cody Jarrett, who, after people are killed during a train heist, cops to a lesser crime which occurred at the same time to get a lighter sentence. While he's inside, undercover cop Hank Fallon, Edmund O'Brien, poses as a crook named Vic to get close to Cody and find out about his operation, in particular, the identity of his elusive fence. Meanwhile, a member of Cody's gang, Big Ed, takes over the gang and makes time with his wife Verna, Virginia Mayo, which Cody's devoted mother finds out about, quickly informing Cody, who has also just narrowly avoided death in a not-so-accidental accident and was saved by Fallon. Not long after, Ma Jarrett is killed, supposedly by Big Ed, but turns out to be Verna. Cody finds out about this right before an escape orchestrated by Fallon and goes crazy. Consequently, he's put in a straitjacket in isolation, but still manages to figure a way to escape with Fallon and his other cellmates. When they get out, Cody immediately takes revenge on Big Ed, never learning the truth about Verna, and sets out to plan a heist of the payroll from a chemical plant, which Fallon attempts to thwart from the inside. White Heat is easily one of the best of its kind, with a Cagney performance rivaling that of Angels with Dirty Faces, and excellent supporting work all around, particularly from O'Brien and Mayo, a clever, witty, and airtight script from Ivan Goff and Ben Roberts, from an Oscar-nominated story by Virginia Kellogg, and some of director Raoul Walsh's best work. It is regarded as a true classic. Cagney's usual tough guy is somewhat undercut by his childlike adoration of his mother and his recurring, possibly psychosomatic, debilitating headaches. However, the character of Cody Jarrett is quite an intelligent criminal. He doesn't really put a foot wrong until he is overcome by madness. In fact, almost every character in White Heat manages to avoid stupid mistakes, only failing when unforeseen circumstances turn against them. The police and criminals can't really be faulted in their decision-making. That is a credit to the writing, which is why it's my choice for Best Screenplay of 1949. But White Heat also gets Best Director for Raoul Walsh, Best Actor for James Cagney, and Best Picture.
Rated by Top of the World!
Join me next time on A Century of Cinema when I will be discussing my favourite films of 1950. Now go watch a movie.